I give the floor now to Dr. Jianli. He's one of the leading Chinese dissidents in the world. When Liu Xiaobo was given the Nobel Peace Prize and he was unable to be in Oslo because he was in prison on an 11-year sentence, it was Yang Jianli who represented him at the Nobel Prize ceremony. Yang Jianli, for his human rights activism in China, spent 5 years as a political prisoner, and he's today the president of China Initiative for
China, or Citizen Power for China.
Initiative for China, and he's also a member of our advisory board. Dr. Yang Jianli.
Thank you, Hilo. On March 14th, 2014, Cao Shunli, a Chinese human rights activist, died in a Chinese military hospital after 5.5 months in detention. Her body revealed a clear sign of brutal physical mistreatment in her captivity. Earlier, she had been arrested in September of 2013 at the airport while she was trying to leave China to Geneva for a training session. That June, the June of 2013, she had organized a sit-in outside China's foreign ministry, demanding that citizens be allowed to participate in preparing China's human rights report to the United Nations. Today, I speak in the same spirit as hers, as a citizen of China, to voice the concerns of the Chinese people, the concerns that must be heard by the international community, especially the United Nations, because the people of China are misrepresented by their unelected government in the world body. Nowadays, many leading democracies are afraid of angering China, such an economical power. So they make little or no effort to push on human rights bilaterally with China. But the UN mechanism provide opportunities for the democracies to come together to confront China on its human rights record collectively with a lawful right and without being accused of unilaterally interfering with China's internal affairs. Such an opportunity will come up in 3 weeks when UN General Assembly will vote to choose new members on its Human Rights Council. By a stretch of imagination, some people have repeatedly hoped or pretended to hope that the China's inclusion to the Council would cause China to behave, namely to meet its obligations to respect and protect human rights, not only according to the international treaties it has signed, but also according to its own constitution. But Chinese record, domestic, at home, on human rights, and its pariah service on the Council have been abysmal, to say the best. The death of Cao Shunli, I just began with, took place just 4 months after the General Assembly re-elected China to the Council with 176 of 193 votes. And just in the month, even in the months leading to that election, China intensified brazenly its suppression of online freedom of speech and the new citizen movement. during the 3 years of this current term as as the UN Human Rights Council, China has committed thousands of human rights violations. Just to name a few, scholar Ilham Tohti was arrested and sentenced to life in 2014. The Tibetan spiritual leader Tenzin Dalai Rinpoche died of torture in China's prison in 2015. During the 3 years, the number of Tibetan self-immolations has climbed to 145 from 122. And overall, during the 3 years, the Xi Jinping regime waged an attack on China's civil society on a scale and ferocity unseen in 2 decades. With more than 320 lawyers and activists harassed, arrested, or disappeared. And its offensive against a civil society got further intensified with the passage of a new law little more than a month ago to impose a secure control over foreign NGOs. During the 3 years as a member of Human Rights Council, China continues its repressive policies against Christians, Tibetans, Uyghurs, Mongolian Falun Gong practitioners, and Hong Kong Democrats. It continues not only to deny any wrongdoing with the Tiananmen Square massacre, but also to repress whoever dared to commemorate the victims or expose the truth of the universally condemned tragedy. And it continued to repeatedly defy the global and just demand for the release of Dr. Wang Bingzhang, China's democracy forbearer, and it continued to imprison Liu Xiaobo, Dr. Liu Xiaobo, the Nobel Peace Prize, remaining the only country on earth imprisoning a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. So by any sensible standard, voting to put China on the Human Rights Council would be like picking the fox to guard the hen house while he was still wiping feathers off his mouth from his last meal. So I think this is a very good opportunity for not only the people who suffer at the hands of dictators around the world to speak out, but also the democracies. A candidate needs a 97 vote to get elected to be a member of the council. If every democracy says no, the chances for countries like China with the worst human rights record would have no chances. So this is a moral test, another moral test for all democracies. Here, I urge leading democracies to take a leadership role in bringing the democracies together, not to humiliate your great countries and the great people, to openly cast a no vote on China. Thank you.